Hi there, this is the first episode of our new monthly real estate wrap-up. Because it's January, it wraps up last year, and it's the top real estate stories that you can use. Here's some navigation tips. Down in the crawl are the December sales numbers, and it will repeat. If you're viewing this on YouTube, there's a time index in the description to find the story that you want. So let's go. Welcome to this first edition of our monthly market wrap. Today it's early January 2020, and we will begin the year with a wrap-up of 2019's top real estate stories that will affect you. I'm Bradley Price.
I'm Darlene Price, and we are from Sonata Realty in Central California.
Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom signed a statewide rent control law which took effect on January 1st of this year. The law limits rent increases to 5% each year, plus inflation, until January 1st of 2030. It also bans landlords from evicting people for no reason, so they can't just kick someone out so that they can raise the rent for a new tenant. The law is retroactive to rent increases beginning March 15th, 2019, to prevent increases just prior to the rent cap taking effect. This makes California and Oregon the only two states with statewide rent controls. Now, rent controls in big cities historically have not worked because it brings less investors, which in turn means less rental housing available, which only furthers the housing shortage. In the case of this new statewide law, there are some landlord protections which should help alleviate some investors leaving the state. The exceptions to rent control mean that only around half of the 17 million renters in the state will be affected. The exemptions to the new law include single-family homes, unless they're owned by a corporation or a real estate investment trust, and also duplexes where the owner lives in one of the units.
Together with the new rent control law, Governor Newsom has made another change in an effort to get control over housing affordability in California. Currently, laws already ban landlords from discriminating against tenants based on his or her source of income. As a part of their effort to solve the state's homelessness and housing affordability crisis, a coalition of housing advocates and civil rights groups have been backing SB 329. The governor signed the bill, which expands the definition of income to encompass federal, state, or local public assistance and federal, state, or local housing subsidies. Public assistance programs are generally known as Section 8 housing, but include other programs as well and provide vouchers which pay for part of the tenant's rent directly to the landlord, and the rest is paid by the tenant. According to the Center of Budget and Policy Priorities, an estimated 300,000 low-income Californians rely on state and federal housing vouchers to pay their rent. Landlords would not be required to lower rents to accommodate the tenant, and will still be able to use verification standards like credit checks and evidence of income. According to Democratic Senator Holly Mitchell from Los Angeles, they can still use the same criteria they used for other potential tenants. According to the advocate of the bill, they say that it will help families to obtain housing that they can afford in better neighborhoods, while opponents of the bill say that it forces landlords into contracts with government housing authorities, and it's more likely to attract less investment in California housing.
From the gold rush to the tech boom, California has always been the land of dreams and of opportunity. The place out west where everyone was headed. But times, they are slowly changing. The past 2 years, beginning and ending in July, have seen the lowest recorded growth rates in California since 1900. Now that's according to new data from the Department of Finance. In fact, if birth rates did not outnumber death rates, we would have a negative population growth. The 452,200 births and the 271,400 deaths gave us a natural increase of 180,800 people. However, these population gains were offset by people leaving California. There was a substantial negative net migration, which resulted in a loss of 39,500 residents. According to the Department of Finance, this is the first time since the 2010 census that California has had more people leaving the state than moving in from abroad or from other states. While California has always seen some migration out of the state, the rate has grown over the last decade. According to William Fry, a senior fellow at the Brookings Institute, for some years after the Great Recession housing crunch, California was losing domestic migrants, but not as much as it could have. Now that's starting to push up again. According to Fry, in the past, California would see growth because in-migration would always outpace out-migration. California has always been the place, the big destination for people from around the world and from around the country. However, a key factor in the declines is due to a drop in immigration levels. Those who are leaving the state tend to be from parts of the state which are more expensive to live. However, it's worth noting that smaller counties also saw population declines or only small increases. Their common destinations tend to have a lower cost of living and no state income tax. The most popular destinations are Arizona and Colorado, Nevada and Oregon, Texas and Washington. And to add to the slow growth, as more people are leaving the state, the number of immigrants coming in has also declined.
Even with the negative population growth, California has a shortage of housing and needs to catch up. But there is always a fine balance between building enough to keep up with demand and not overbuilding, which can lead to an oversupply. Multifamily construction remained steady in 2018, with year-end totals the same as the prior year. Demand for multifamily rentals has generally been higher during the residential construction recovery compared to single-family residences. However, buyer-occupant demand for single-family residents is gradually increasing as jobs are recovered. Single-family residential starts, which saw an increase of 9% in 2018, were 8% below 1 year earlier, in the 6-month phase ending October 2019. Multifamily construction starts were up 3% from a year earlier. 31,000 single-family starts took place in the 6-month period ending October 2019. This is 2,500 fewer starts than occurred during the same period 1 year earlier. 26,800 multifamily housing starts took place in the 6-month period ending October 2019. This is 800 more starts than occurred during the same period 1 year earlier. The key factors builders use are to analyze existing home sales, end-user demand, and local employment. Together, an analysis of these and ancillary factors produce a prediction of future construction trends. It is basic supply and demand, and it is ultimately the demand from purchasers, either for homes or for investment properties, that determine the building cycles. The possible obstacles facing the builders include rising mortgage rates and borrower capacity of the purchasers, as well as the tightening of credit available to builders. Other obstacles are any restrictive zoning regulations, which discourage further construction density in the areas people want to purchase.
The National Association of Realtors is attempting to put an end to pocket listings. Pocket listings is a term for a practice that excludes some buyers and limits competition. Pocket listings are becoming increasingly common across the country. It is the practice in which a property is listed for sale, but not put into the system for other agents to access that information for their buyers. It makes it so that the only way a buyer could receive information about the property is directly through the listing agent, or maybe their office or some other private network. Most listings are put into an online database for other agents to access, known as the MLS or Multiple Listing Service. And from there, the listing information is available to the public through portals, such as the company website, Realtor.com, or many other such consumer-based websites. Pocket listings delay posting to that system and is bad for both buyers and sellers. For buyers, in a tight market, especially in the low to average home prices, houses are often sold before the buyer even has a chance to look at it, so they're excluded from a chance to purchase it. For sellers, the number of buyers available is severely limited to the agent or their network, limiting the market and therefore the potential price that they might receive for their property. This is also that the agent has a chance to get paid for both the listing side and the sales side of the property, something known as double ending. The National Association of Realtors always strives to be an advocate for the consumer and set standards by which the real estate industry should strive for. Many times, real estate license regulations are born from the association's Code of Ethics. In November, the National Association of Realtors voted to ban pocket listings during its annual convention in San Francisco, and it will become effective on May 1st, 2020. Now, not all agents are realtors. However, each individual multiple listing service has rules which are based on an MLS advisory board from the association. The new rule will require that a broker submit to the MLS for cooperation with other MLS participants within 1 business day of publicly marketing a home for sale. The policy won't prevent agents from sharing the listings privately among their office or prevent them from protecting their clients' privacy. However, once the information is shared outside the office, the 24-hour rule does apply. Also, coming soon email blasts and yard signs would also trigger this rule. While the new rule must be adopted by May 1st, individual MLS systems are encouraged to adopt it sooner, so the start date may vary by region.
On the business beat, almonds are big business in California's Central Valley. Almond orchards stretch across 1 million acres of California land. Apparently, in California, money does grow on trees. Almonds are a $5.6 billion industry, and 2.26 billion pounds were shipped from California just last year. Whether roasted and salted, turned into milk or marzipan, everyone loves their almonds. First planted on the Mediterranean coast around 4000 BC, almonds appear in some of the world's oldest recipes. For the last century, their home has been the Central Valley, with a climate similar to that of the Mediterranean. If you want to invest in farming, you may just want to take a look into almonds.
So that's it. This is our new YouTube channel, and we have big plans to keep you up to date on the real estate market, including providing some consumer education to arm you with so that you're better prepared to purchase or sell your property. Now, please feel free to hit the like button, share this video. Comments and story ideas are also welcome, and we would love it if you would add us to your channel subscriptions. Thank you for joining us. See you in the market.